All right, good morning, everybody. So it is November 28th. It is the Monday after the Thanksgiving holiday. Everyone still is probably a little sleepy. So thank you all for being here right on time. So we'll get started here. We're going to start off with continuing the discussion, how we get our movies. I quoted myself there, how we all get our movies in various places in the world. And we watched this last week, but a lot of people weren't here. The last class before the break, watch the video about movies in Cuba and break into discussion groups. So how people get movies when getting information and getting media and entertainment is very challenging. That was a great story in Cuba, and we'll break into various groups. For those of you who are with us Wednesday before Thanksgiving, you've got a head start. You're already familiar with the topic. Then we are going to read the interview with the great director, James Cameron. So I'll give you a heads up. That's on page 75 in the textbook. And I'm actually going to open the video panel so I can see all our faces. Beautiful. So page 75, this is the director of Avatar, Titanic, a lot of those, generational classics that we've seen, young and old. So an interview with a great film director. We'll read and get some new vocabulary there. Then I'll introduce homework. It'll be a short exercise related to the article. Then we'll take a break. And then I'm going to introduce a new discussion topic, the history of Black Friday. So if you've heard about Black Friday shopping, it'll say anywhere and everywhere, they'll reduce a price somewhere that says, buy this thing now for the Black Friday deal, but you must buy it right now. That is an American tradition, which has now gone global. So it's interesting to teach these classes around the holiday season, because what began as an American shopping tradition has now rippled around the planet. And we'll look and see what that tradition is, where it come from, where the name Black Friday came from, all that fun stuff that we'll do. I'll introduce it at the end of class today, and we'll follow up with it on Wednesday. So that should be fun. Let's get moving. Here is the material that I showed you the last two classes. So I ask everybody, how do you get your movies where you are from? Streaming, theaters, or physical copies, actually handing people some physical device in your hand, like a DVD or USB or what have you. And this conversation, I think, was more interesting to hear from generations. Some people remembered having a VHS copy. Other people, depending on life experiences, would say, oh, in my town, there was no movie theater, but we had to go into the city to go to a movie theater. So that's quite interesting. Other people might say, I didn't watch a movie till I moved from this place to this place. So that's a nice opportunity to share. Here's the activator question I showed everybody. I said, after learning about some of the creative ways many people in Cuba get their movies, discuss your impressions, tell us what you think. So now I want to give those of you who were in class on Wednesday an opportunity to share what your thoughts are now that you've had a weekend to think about it. So Olha, Svetlana, Daniel, I remember you were in that class on Wednesday. Have you had any new thoughts over the weekend? It's okay if you don't. We'll just go right into it. You can tell me the truth. You say, you know what, George, I totally forgot that lesson. Gone, erased from my memory, which is fine. It makes my life easier because I can just teach you the same lesson all over again. Okay, that looks like that's exactly what's going to happen. We're going to teach the same lesson all over again. All right, no problem. But this time it'll be more comprehensive, and I'm going to give you specific questions and break you up into groups for discussion. So here we go. All right. Oh, I actually will need a notebook for this. Okay. So this will be a bonus question. Whoops. Bonus question. Why would a satellite dish be hidden? Let's see. Why would a satellite dish be hidden in a water tower? All right. So, well, actually, no, I'm not going to use my notebook. I'll just write it right here. So question number 1. What is el paquete? I'm sorry, what is el paquete semanal? What is it? Any volunteers to take this question? I'm going to give this one to, I'm just going to look at the video panel and we'll start writing. We're going to give this one to Shalmara. Hi.
Semanal. Oh.
Sandra, you will take this question.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Semanal.
Oh, wait. We're going to watch it first and then you'll discuss it in groups.
Seminal, Sandra, seminal dice.
No, yo estoy preguntando.
Okay, perfect. Isabel and Sandra.
George,
Isabel and Sandra.
It's semanal or seminal?
That is what you will. That is what you will discuss with Isabel in your breakout room. Anybody like to join them? How about Daniel? And Daniel. So what is it? It is a product that people. It is one. I'll just give you a hint. It's a way people get their movies in Cuba. And I don't think either of you were in that Wednesday class, so this is going to be new and exciting. Daniel, yes, you were. So Daniel has all your answers. How is el paquete? I spelled that one. Paquete. How is el paquete distributed? How is this?
Teacher, Sandra say the question number 1 is, what is el paquete seminal or semanal?
You will find out when you watch the video and go into your breakout rooms.
Okay, no problem.
So yep. It is el paquete seminal. That is it. Okay. That is what they call it in Cuba. And I'm taking the spelling right off the video. But what you want to do is listen closely and then be able to tell the story. So let's give question number 2 to Anila. How is it distributed? Meaning, how do people get this thing that they want? Anila, Olha.
And me.
And Svetlana. So every time I say Olha, Svetlana says, take me with her, right?
No.
Did you hang out over the weekend?
No.
Okay. Let's see. And number 3, why would Cubans hide a satellite dish in a water tower? And I actually gave a visual for that. Why would Cubans hide a satellite dish in a water tower? And I think with a number, I'll just make that the remaining people in class. Here we go. So let's give this one to Shalmara. And Letitia. Perfect. Shamara and Letitia, and if I think we'll probably get a latecomer arriving. Anyone who comes late. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. All right, I'm gonna make that a little bit bigger. Okay. So there we are, where you see your name, write down the question. Okay. All right. What is El Paquete Semanal? Sandra, Isabel, and Daniel. I strategically placed Daniel into group 1. Do you know why? Daniel, you are the most important person. Not to say that Isabel and Sandra are not important, but Daniel, if you are in group 1, that forces Sandra and Isabel to speak English. Anila gets the joke. Now, Anila, you are also the most important person in group 2, because you are forcing Olha and Svetlana to speak English. Unless, Anila, you learned Ukrainian over the holiday weekend, and I know that you are capable of doing this. So unless Anila is going to be very sneaky and practice her Ukrainian or teach the two of you Urdu. We'll see. Well, this will be interesting. Okay, Shamara and Letitia, you got question number 3. And did I miss anybody? Here we go. Nope, didn't miss anybody. Okay. Anybody who arrives late, I'll just give them question number 4. Okay. All right, let me know when you're ready. If you got your, just make sure you write down your question, or you take a screenshot, or even if you stick it in your head, just know what you're looking for. And I'll pause it periodically to make sure that everybody knows what they're doing. And I'll keep the video playing on the right side of the screen, because sometimes I'll draw on it and then highlight it for the questions. Okay, ready or not? Playing the video. Here we go.
When you want to watch a movie or a TV show, you know what to do. You tap your fingers, and within a few seconds, you are watching whatever you want. It's frictionless, it's easy. But in some places, it's not so easy.
Acá no tenemos televisión extranjera, acá es televisión nacional.
Officially, there's one source of permitted media in Cuba, and it's the state.
¿Por qué? No sé, no está en mis manos. Solo sé que así funciona.
But Cubans found a way to work around this media blockade to distribute the latest in global entertainment to the entire country, coordinated entirely by an informal market of underground data traffickers, based both in Havana and the United States. It's the fruits of the internet without any of the guts.
Un señor se dedica a bajar las series, otra gente se especializa en bajar películas, y otras personas en videos, otras la música, y así van recopilando hasta que van armando 1 terabyte.
Once all the latest media from around the world is gathered onto one hard drive, the top dealers in Havana will prepare it for distribution. This extensive collection of digital media is affectionately called El Paquete Semanal.
Okay, did you hear that, group 1? So what is El Paquete Semanal? Here it is. Take a listen, and you want to discuss it to explain it when we come back. Here it is.
Y así van recopilando hasta que van armando 1 terabyte.
Once all the latest media from around the world is gathered onto one hard drive, the top dealers in Havana will prepare it for distribution. This extensive collection of digital media is affectionately called El Paquete Semanal, the weekly package.
Bueno, eso me lo dan a mí. O una persona que lo coge de otra persona, que se lo coge a esa persona Y así, al final es una cadena. Vale dos cubos y uno lo que hace es llenar un USB.
¿Hay mucho dinero en todo esto?
Pienso que sí, para los que están arriba, pienso que sí. Es un negocio.
A quick look into the paquete, and you start to realize how massive this system must be to gather so much content in such a short amount of time, especially in a country that has a 5% internet penetration and an agonizingly slow connection speed.
El paquete es este, con fecha. Y acá están las películas de la semana. Si se estrenan en Estados Unidos un viernes, ya tú lo tienes un lunes acá. Son fotos de tecnologías y cosas que se bajan de internet, ¿no es? Es un internet casero. Es un internet casero. Tenemos aquí los animados, aquí todo organizado, los animados. Esto ahora mismo lo están estrenando. Aplicaciones para Android. Acá tenemos una serie de todo, iPhone y muy buena calidad. Acá lo puedes ver, ya tienen ya una calidad de 1920 por 1080 Full HD.
So who's behind all this? It's definitely not one person, but somewhere down the chain there has to be a source of all this information. Someone coordinating the distribution. I found a couple of 20-year-olds who make their living hustling Havana's streets.
All right, so Anila, Olha, Svetlana, how are people getting this? That's how is El Paquete distributed? That means how do people get these movies and TV shows and whatever else they watch? How is it that they get what they want? Here it is.
It's definitely not one person, but somewhere down the chain there has to be a source of all this information. Someone coordinating the distribution. I found a couple of 20-year-olds who make their living hustling Havana's streets, participating in the thriving industry of shadowy odd jobs. Between driving taxi bikes without a license and giving unofficial city tours to European visitors, these guys move El Paquete between distributors from time to time. They led me behind the scenes in Havana, where I saw how the Paquete makes its rounds every week. The distribution centers are usually in the back of cell phone repair shops or DVD stores. Hardware flowing in and out of these places doesn't attract unwanted attention. Distributors were understandably not keen about appearing on camera, but they showed me their operation and explained how clients come to their shop with a weekly order of digital content. They told me that American TV shows are in some of the highest demand, but some people show up with an empty hard drive every week and transfer the whole entire paquete. Everything from iPhone apps to indie documentaries. After poking around, I finally worked my way up the chain to discover who is coordinating this massive enterprise. They call him Dani Paquete, and he agreed to meet with me.
All right, this next question, Shamara and Letitia, why would Cubans hide a satellite dish in a water tower? Take a look.
Busco Dani. Perfecto, ya. Oye, gracias, Antonio, Que tenga buen día.
Danny was with a client, so I waited for an hour in his impromptu lobby. I didn't know what to expect Dani Paquete to be like. I figured he was some kind of shady character, like anyone you would find behind some giant illegal enterprise, but I definitely didn't expect this. He's a 26-year-old who was wearing board shorts and no shirt when I arrived. He looked a lot more like a lazy college sophomore than a kingpin of a national black market of pirated media. But after 5 minutes of sitting in his office with a client in the room, I quickly gained a respect for Danny and the media machine that he's running. As Danny's 40-year-old assistant helped load the hard drive of a local distributor, I watched a live feed of the popular Spanish network Telemundo digitizing on the screen. Danny must have a hidden satellite in a
Okay, here's the answer to the question.
Machine that he's running. As Danny's 40-year-old assistant helped load the hard drive of a local distributor, I watched a live feed of the popular Spanish network Telemundo digitizing on the screen. Danny must have a hidden satellite in a fake water tower on his roof. A Spanish.
What? Ah! So that's the question. Why would a satellite dish be hidden in a water tower?
He's a 26 market of pirated media. But after 5 minutes of sitting in his office with a client in the room, I quickly gained a respect for Danny and the media machine that he's running. As Danny's 40-year-old assistant helped load the hard drive of a local distributor, I watched a live feed of the popular Spanish network Telemundo digitizing on the screen. Danny must have a hidden satellite in a fake water tower on his roof, a fairly common Cuban practice. Danny's girlfriend wandered in and began watching a Discovery Channel documentary about a farmer who almost died on a tractor in Iowa. So much for the control of information by the Castros.
La serie que sale hoy por la noche, al otro día la tenemos aquí para mañana. Tenemos varias gente que se responsabilizan por cada sección del paquete. Todos ellos hacen su trabajo, me lo entregan a mí y después yo lo saco para la población.
There's one other competitor in Havana for national paquete consumers. Danny recently started sending one of his runners on an airplane to the far corners of the country in order to get a leg up on the competition.
Todo negocio tiene su competencia, si no, nos estancamos en un lugar. Tengo que tener competencia para poder superarme cada día, cada semana.
There's no way of knowing exactly how many paquete consumers there are in Cuba. But of the hundreds of people I talked to while there, only 2 had never heard of this, and most were consumers themselves. So if there's one thing all of this taught me, it's that when people want information, they're gonna find a way to get it. Cubans live on an island, cut off from the world's information for almost 6 decades, and they've come up with some pretty innovative workarounds to their situation. As more technology slowly spreads onto the island, we can only imagine what they'll think of next.
All right. So the last question, how does Danny stay competitive? If anybody shows up in the middle, I think it'll be too late for them to figure it out, but that'll be a bonus question because the last few pieces of information is that showing that he has competition. There's another distributor in Cuba and he has to make a few moves to keep his customers. All right. So we are going to go into breakout rooms now. Here we go. First
Teacher.
breakout. Hello.
Can we watch it again? Please.
Here's what I'll do. Well, we saw it. You were here on Wednesday, weren't you? You were in the class on Wednesday, weren't you, Anila?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna just send it to you. I'll send it to everybody in the WhatsApp group. Here we go.
Okay, thank you.
And don't worry, Olha and Svetlana will tell you everything you missed. If anything you need to catch, Olha and Svetlana will tell you everything, and that will force them to speak English, which is all part of my plan. Here we go. Okay, so for group number 1, we've got Daniel, Isabel, and Sandra. Group number 2, we've got Anila, Svetlana. Oh, I think we lost Olha. She'll come back. She always does. And group number 3, Letitia and Shamara. When Olha returns, I'll send her into group 2. Okay, everybody, breakout rooms now. I'm going to send you that video. Here we go. Hi, Oha, you can join Anila and Svetlana right now. Okay. Okay, beautiful. Group one, begin, please.
Okay, I think El Paquete Seminar is a package of internet from to United States, and they use it for the million Cuba to download music, video, etc.
Excellent.
Yes,
Yeah.
because Cuba don't have international television and don't have internet, and the
Yeah.
people use a strategy and make a weekly pack and include videos, music, movie, and other social media for the entertainment the people.
Beautiful. Yeah, a weekly package is what they said was a literal translation.
Mhm.
So, give us a little preview. Why would they want to do it? Why would they depend so much on hardware? Why not just, download or stream like we would?
They say many people work in these systems and they transportations. Anyone don't know about how this terabyte arrive in Cuba, but they are distributor.
Yeah.
I don't know how do you say that.
Yeah, you got
but
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, but many people work in this terabyte.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a terabyte, which is a huge amount of data, like a whole hard drive. Like imagine the whole hard drive on your computer, how much information it can store.
Yeah.
That's what people are sharing, and it's collected in different places by multiple people, and then it comes together in one package, and then people will just show up, fill up my hard drive, fill up my USB every week. Then watch what you want to watch, erase it, fill it up again.
Yeah. It's so interesting. One thing they say when movies is in the United States and on Friday and Monday is in Cuba. How bad is that? And how
That's
they
pretty
do
amazing,
that?
isn't it?
Yeah.
So
they are very smart.
Yeah, the host was the reporter made a joke. He said, "So much for control of information."
Yeah.
People just get what they want and do what they want. Yeah. Very good. Group one, nice conversations. All right, let me see. Okay, yes, it is exactly 11 o'clock. Let's take a break, and when we come back, Anila, Olha, Svetlana, you will dazzle us with all that you've learned. Okay, let's take our 10-minute break now. Here we go. Okay, 10 minutes, and I'll pause the recording as well, but we'll take our 10-minute break right this moment. Here we go. All right, so we have just come back off of break. Now it is time for group number two to explain how El Paquete is distributed. Anila, Olha, Svetlana, that was a beautiful conversation you had in your breakout room. Tell us everything you learned.
Yeah, teacher, they are distributing with the young boys. They are around 20 years old, and they have illegal license. They were riding the bikes as a taxi.
Yes.
So yeah, they are distributing with all the shops, like the hardware shops and the cell phone repair shops. They distribute it to them, and after that the people, they come and they download it from them.
Very nice, very nice. I hear something I thought of. Olha, Svetlana, you were probably too young to remember life in the Ukraine before the 90s, but what these kids, I'll just show the part of the video that what these kids are doing illegally is that, here we go, there, where are they? There they are. So when the reporter follows these kids around, the capital city, Havana, what they're doing is they're finding ways to make money. So 20-year-olds are finding ways to make money when it's illegal to make money on your own, because of the old communist system. Were there, when you were little kids, do you remember, were there ways in the Ukraine before 1991 that people would find ways to make extra money that were unofficial, like, or illicit, illegal, underground economies, just ways people found to make money to survive when you were growing up? Olha says, no, everybody followed the rules. No. Olha just
I
shook her
think
head.
in
No.
Ukraine, people recording films and cartoons on DVD cassettes. There was DVD cassettes. It was illegal, and other people just look these films at home on DVD players.
Okay. And that was a way to make a little extra cash?
I think yes.
Nice. Svetlana, anything similar to this when you were very young?
I don't remember this, actually. Some people have extra money when can sell some, maybe some foods or some things.
Okay, cool. Very good. So yeah, it's distributed by these kids. What Anila said was, yeah, just young boys riding around, and one of their ways to make money is a little bicycle, operating a bicycle taxi. So a tourist comes into the main city, Havana, they look at all the old buildings, and then some little kid on a bicycle taxi say, hey, I'll ride you around and give you a tour. And then when that's not making enough money, when they can't make enough money doing that, they'll move this El Paquete system for people to watch TV and watch movies. All right. Shalmata and Letitia, why would Cubans hide a satellite dish in a water tower? And they prepared an elaborate answer. There it is. Why would they hide a satellite dish in a water tower?
Danny must have an illegal satellite hidden in a fake water tower on his roof, because it's something they do and it is not legal. Black market pirated media.
Yes.
The men say that is a common Cuban practices.
That's right.
But I think not only in Cuba, because in my country too, the people hiding illegal business and in some place.
And just remind everybody where you're from.
El Salvador.
Yep. Very good. Is there a lot of media restriction in El Salvador like Cuba?
No. In El Salvador, there is a lot of place where you buy DVD, the movies new.
Okay.
Is this the Cuban the Friday there is a new movie, and Monday you can buy $1 DVD.
Pretty good deal. Yes. So yeah, what he was pointing out was that when he interviews this guy Danny, he was surprised about how young he was, and he's just this kind of like, he looks like an awkward teenager, but he's running this huge business. And then while he is demonstrating how he would put all this terabyte of data onto something for a client, he's watching one of his favorite shows on Telemundo right there. And so while he's working, he's watching a Telemundo show that's happening live at that moment, not pre-recorded. So even though, and remember, Cuba's in our backyard. It's just in the Caribbean, just off the coast of Florida. So they could easily get a signal from American TV shows. And then while this is going on, his girlfriend comes in and just and starts eating ice cream and watching a documentary on the Discovery Channel.
Channel documentary about a farmer who almost died on a tractor in Iowa.
So the reporter is just kind of blown away. He's in this country where people are not supposed to get international media, and clearly people are. And these two are getting it very efficiently. So that's why it's a great story. So behind this, recording on his phone, the American journalist is going, "Oh my God, these two can watch what they want when they want, no matter," and the government is not stopping them. Wow. So that's the story. Last question I'm going to leave for anybody else who wants it. Doris just joined us. She might be playing catch up. How does Danny stay competitive? There was a little bit on that towards the end of the video. Does anybody want to take that question?
All business needs to have competition.
That's true, but how does he stay competitive? He has a strategy to compete with another distributor.
He sent someone to the aeroplane, teacher.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
and they
absolutely.
got. Yeah.
Thank you, Anu.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. So yeah, this young man is competing with other. He's got a business to run. He's got some competitors elsewhere in the country. So he explains right here that he has to put, and remember, it's the physical transfer of these movies and DVD, these movies and TV shows that people want. So imagine right now, when there's a World Cup game, the people with the hidden satellites are going to see it first. The people who want to watch it later are going to have to wait, a couple hours till somebody brings the recording on the USB, maybe a day. And it's the physical movement of people around the country. So how does he get that stuff faster than his competition? He actually puts people on a little plane to go from one end of the country to the next. And it's like a long, skinny island.
About a farmer who almost died on a tractor in Iowa. So much for the control of information by the Castros.
La serie que sale hoy por la noche, al otro día la tenemos aquí para mañana. Tenemos varias gente que se responsabilizan por cada sección del paquete. Todos ellos hacen su trabajo, me lo entregan a mí y después yo lo saco para la población.
There's one other competitor in Havana for national paquete consumers. Danny recently started sending one of his runners on an airplane to the far corners of the country in order to get a leg up on the competition.
Todo negocio tiene su competencia, si no nos estancamos en un lugar. Tengo que tener competencia para poder superarme cada día, cada semana.
There's no way of knowing exactly.
So the reporter says Danny sends somebody who works for him on a little plane to go from one part of the country to the next, to either further distribute what he's got or get the new information so that people stick with him. And I think that was Shalmara who was quoting Danny directly. Every business needs competition. Good work, everybody. Now we'll move on. We're still on the topic of movies. Let's turn to let's do a little reading. Actually, before we do some reading, I still have my screen up here. I'm going to show you what I've posted on Google Classroom. So here we are. All right, very simple, page 78. After reading the interview with James Cameron, which we're about to look at right now, complete the synonym exercise on page 78. These synonyms I like because they're colloquial phrases, not just vocabulary words. It's very casual language that Americans use that you could apply in your daily conversations. So finish the synonym exercise and we'll go over that together on Wednesday. And you
Okay.
can just attach that just by taking a picture. Easier to do it on your phone. And I posted an article right here on, wait a minute, where is it? No, I didn't. I thought I did. I'm hoping, wait, hold on a second. I'm wondering if I put it in the wrong class. No. I must not have pressed post. Okay, here it is. This is the article that I'm going to share with you for discussion. We're going to do a little critical reading. Okay, here we go. Hi, everyone. This is not homework. Making that crystal clear, not homework. We will use this article for a class discussion on Wednesday. Enjoy. And here's the article. I think I must have forgot to press post. There it is. Okay, so the real history of Black Friday. If over the past weekend you've seen commercials say, or you're getting all these ads on your phone say, buy a new TV now with a Black Friday discount. What? What's that from? And Black Friday, it's actually become this international phenomenon. Around the world, there are Black Friday sales, but where did it come from? That's what we'll use for a discussion next week. And this is a great article from the History Channel, The Real History of Black Friday. And it's got some historic photos. It's really nice. Okay. So that's an article we'll use for class discussion. And the homework assignment for Wednesday is right there. So now I will switch to my document camera and we will begin to read the interview with James Cameron on page 78. Plugging in my document camera right now. All right, so here we are. The exercise is on page 78. The interview itself is right here on page 75. Sorry for the confusion there. So this is the, whoops, that's upside down. There we go. This is the director, James Cameron. As mentioned before, he's the director of Titanic, Avatar, a lot of classic movies that are loved by generations, young and old. I will read the questions from the interviewer. So this is the interviewer asking the questions, and then we can take turns reading Cameron's answers. So I'll be every time it says interviewer, I'll be that guy, and everyone else can take turns being him. So I'll do a quick summary to introduce who he is. Okay, Cameron, film director, producer, screenwriter, visual artist, editor. Inspired by Star Wars, he left his job as a truck driver and started working in special effects. His dream was to unite science and art. He began making miniature models for films and worked his way up to art director, production designer, and finally director. His films include The Abyss, the Terminator films, Aliens, Titanic, and Avatar, as well as films about deep sea exploration. So science fiction is really his wheelhouse. That's his expertise, using a few colloquial phrases there, meaning he knows a lot about science fiction. In 2012, he dove 7 miles down to the bottom of the Pacific Ocean by himself in a 24-foot submarine. That's true. He designed his own submarine. In the future, he hopes to mine asteroids for their valuable minerals and commercially built in a commercially built rocket ship. So he's got a lot of visions out there. I mean, he will make the impossible possible. One of those folks. Okay, I will begin as the interviewer. Who wants to be the first to read Cameron's voice? Any volunteers?
I will
I
read.
can.
Okay, Anila raised her hand first. I think the second one was Olha, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll start with Anila, then Anila, you take number 2 there, and then the next one, Olha will take. Okay. So I'm the interviewer. Anila, you are Cameron. Here we go. When you make a movie, how involved are you in the fiscal aspect of the marketing?
I don't want to be overly involved because selling movies is what the studio does 24/7. I want them to do their job and I want to do my job. My job is to make the movie and make it as excellent a film experience as you can have and let them figure out how to sell it based on what they know about selling movies.
Very good. Okay, next up, Olha. How did the concept of Avatar occur to you?
How you decide to make a film is different for each one. For Terminator, for example, I thought, okay, what kind of movie can I make as a first-time director? Should it involve effects? Because I know effects and I can sell that. But it's got to be shot in the streets of LA on the cheap, so that's my setting. So how do I get effects into that setting? Well, something comes from space or it comes from the future. Space has been done, so let's do the future. So I have this very mercenary
Mercenary.
things that drove me to a story. Then I came up with a story that fit those parameters.
Very good. Okay, here's the question, and then we'll turn the page and we'll get a new volunteer. Who wants to volunteer to read the next? It's paragraph number 6. Oh, actually, this is continued.
Number
Paragraph
5.
5. Yep. So yeah, there's no question in between. Who wants to read paragraph 5? Daniel, Isabel, Shamara, Sandra, Doris.
I can do.
Go for it, Isabel. Avatar.
Avatar is very similar in that I was the CEO of Digital Domain, which overnight had sprung to being the second best visual effect house in the world. And I didn't want to be.
Whoop, this is exciting. I'm carrying the camera over the page like a spaceship. Okay.
Want to be second best. ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, had a big lead having done the Jurassic Park films. And Stan Winston, with whom, I can say whom?
Yes, with whom I founded.
Okay, with whom I founded the company. And I wanted to really push the art of CGI, character creation, real story, all of that. So I collected a very bit of character creation that I'd done as an illustrator, just doodling around since I was in the middle school, hunkered down behind the textbook in class.
Very good. Paragraph 6. Who wants it?
And I had
Let's go. Okay, Daniel, you could take 6, and then Svetlana, you could take 7.
I had thousands and thousands of drawing, lots of ideas. So I just work in all up into one big story. But the consensus was the idea of doing photorealistic expressive uh,
Characters, yeah.
characters in CGI was not possible at that time. So I thought,
Thought.
uh, all right, guys, I giving you fair warning. I'm going to go making Titanic. When I come back, let's talk again.
But of
Very
course,
nice. Oh, no, I was just, this is kind of interesting, is that the idea for Avatar was he had for a very long time, but he couldn't get what he wanted from everyone else involved. And then he said, fine, I'll do this later. I'm gonna go make Titanic. And then he went to make the
Yeah,
movie Titanic and came back to
Titanic.
Avatar, like 12 years later. Svetlana.
but of course, if you don't have a project driving the technology, it just lie dormant. Everything is done for a reason. I came back 2 years later and nothing had happened. And then I started thinking, well, I want to make my next future in 3D. Avatar's probably not a good choice for that because it's just way too complicated. I've got to do something simple.
Simpler, yeah.
Simpler first. And Stan said, no. If you want to do Avatar, do Avatar. He said, you do your biggest and your best idea in 3D because this deserves. He just said the strong
visceral
reaction to it. And you Stan and I had been friends and partners for a long time. So I actually listened to that. I looked at Avatar and thought, well, maybe the time is right.
Do you see political parallels in Avatar? And here's the last paragraph. Who wants it? Anybody? Doris, you want to take it?
Yes.
All right, Doris.
What I was doing with Avatar, by the way, Avatar was writing long before even the first Gulf War, was more in response to a kind of human history at large and the way the history of the human race has been written in blood by technically or military superior people taken from those who are less capable. That's how Rome worked, that's how Greece worked, that's how China worked. You name it. Name your empire. Name your empire. You could get people to come to a movie theater and watch a film about the conquest of New Spain and how the Aztecs, is it?
Aztecs were slaughtered.
Aztecs were slaughtered there by the Spaniards of their gold.
For their gold.
For their gold. But you can get them to come to a movie theater and see how the Pandora Navy are being slaughtered for the fictional element.
Yeah.
Unibotinium is the same story.
Unibotinium. So the fictional element, anybody who haven't seen Avatar, it's the Pandorian Navy are this group of indigenous people that are being marginalized and their territory is being taken. It's a great movie.
Yes, exciting for December 16th.
Nice. And the fictional element, it reminds me of the Black Panther movies, Vibranium in Wakanda.
Yes.
So fictional location, a fictional element that tells that the word parallel that shows a very similar story to real life and real history. All right, so that is the interview with David Cameron. And here is the exercise. It's not too intimidating, but what I like right here is that that interview has a lot of complicated new words, but then there are some phrases that people use. So you have right here the word push. What's a synonym of push? And we go down to H, propel. Ooh, that's something to add to the vocabulary. To propel into the future, to push into the future. So synonyms, remember, words that can be used interchangeably, words that are similar or identical to other words. So this will be your homework. Enjoy it. It'll boost that vocabulary, and it'll make the article we just read more engaging because you'll understand it better the second time around. It's just about 11. I'm going to stop recording right now.